This is Transposition Sports. I'm Carly Chardonnay Webb, and we're heading into a big sports week below the fold for many of us. For some of us grown folks, we're warming up our arms, warming up our legs, getting ready for some softball. Maybe it's some ultimate. We're training for a road race, so that first 10K. Now, some of y'all might get a little frisky. Duathlon, triathlon, marathon, tough mudder, whatever you do, work hard, enjoy it, do your best. College and high school kids, it's the meat of the season because district championships, conference championships, state championships, national championships, they're coming. And even for the younger set, spring and summer seasons are here. The days are getting longer. The weather's getting warmer. We're going to have more Little League baseball and softball. You're going to have some Pee Wee soccer going. Some of y'all may be in age group track. Whatever you do, have fun doing it. And for myself and two dear friends, we hit the football fields this weekend. It's Women's Football Alliance opening weekend. Good luck to a role model and friend, Jacqueline Taylor Cook, offensive line, defensive line, all-star for the WFA Pro Division's Pittsburgh Passion. Good luck, number 65. Play hard, close those gaps wherever you find them, and hopefully we'll all celebrate a WFA championship weekend in July. Also, good luck and good hunting to Julie Allday, defensive line for the WFA Division II's Columbus, Ohio Chaos. Julie, it was a pleasure getting to meet you this year, and hopefully I'll get to see you play, perhaps maybe in Canton at the championship rounds. And for myself, I'm excited because it's my first year in the WFA. I'm with the Division III Connecticut Ambush. I joined this team kind of late, but I got a lot of help from a great coaching staff, great group of teammates, and owner general manager, Halim Vasirka. Thank you for letting me be a part of it, all of you. I'm excited to be a part of this ride, and I'm excited for our home opener this weekend. Now, in the middle of all this fun, there's a kid named Becky Pepper Jackson. You may have heard of her. She's that kid who nearly 3 years ago fought for her right to play. You see, back then, she was an 11-year-old transgender girl who just wanted to be on her middle school's cross-country and track teams out in West Virginia. Now, the state of West Virginia passed one of those cut-and-paste save women's sports bills that the Alliance Defending Freedom's been peddling. But Becky wasn't having it. Becky fought it. There's been a lot of twists and turns, and the latest was last week. A federal district appeals court struck down the law and said that by the merits of the law, you can't stop this kid from playing as the girl she is and the girl she's always been because it would violate Title IX. 2 days after the ruling came down, Becky stepped into a shot put ring for her middle school at their county championship meet. Now, going into this meet, she was an underdog. Last year in this same event, she was 6th. But in the offseason, she worked at it. She worked at her technique. She got better. And through all the small invites and the dual meets this season, she's been unbeaten. And she improved her PR by nearly 6 feet. On this particular day, she didn't quite throw a PR, 32 feet 9 inches, but she went out and won the event. Now, in a world without transphobia, this is a sentence or two in a small town newspaper recap of the meet. Maybe they even quote her and ask her about how you improved from last year to this year. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world. You see, a group of 5 competitors, all from a rival middle school, decided to step in the ring and then step out. They basically took fouls, and they did so and recorded no effort as a statement of protest against Becky Pepper Jackson competing. And of course, certain anti-trans activists like Karens Against Women's Sports, also known as Icons Women, and of course, that noted anti-trans activist, America's Spoil Sport,
Riley
a real American transphobe, Riley Gaines is there. These groups and others decided to make this an object lesson. And in turn, it emboldened their supporters to pick on one kid. You had people on social media sites like the artist formerly known as Twitter calling Becky Pepper Jackson a man, a male, a boy, painting her as a monster, and her parents as child abusers. Now, the actions of all these adult bullies, and these were adults, just told me that transphobic adults are okay picking on trans kids, and also they don't even see trans kids as kids. One person who definitely doesn't see Becky as a kid is West Virginia's Attorney General. Here's what he had to say in an interview on Tuesday.
Well, this came up in Bridgeport recently, that someone is doing a shot put. I praised the little girls who walked off and didn't compete because they have to face a male. You don't want little girls to be facing hulking males in the locker rooms.
One thing to understand about Pat Morrisey, the Attorney General, he is running for the Republican nomination for governor of West Virginia. The primary's on May 14th. Attorney General Morrisey, I interrupt your gubernatorial campaign to remind you that Becky Pepper Jackson is 13 years old. She is a child. Yet the way that many of adults like you are portraying her, she's no different than Veronica Ivy, Cece Telfer, Leah Thomas, or Natalie Ryan. You're trying to make a monster out of her. And with that in mind, I'd like to ask adults like you, demeaning this kid, some questions. If you're trying to talk about fairness and say, oh, this is about fairness, fairness for whom? Is it fair that this kid who has competed with the support of her school, her parents, her peers, without controversy for almost 3 years, now has to be the target of your discomfort and your bigotry and your transphobia just because she's winning? Just because she did well? Because think about it, there wasn't a protest last year when she was 6th. There wasn't. When she was finishing in the middle and the back, nobody cared. Now she won, all of a sudden Riley Gaines is in West Virginia. Is that fair? My second question needs a little backstory. And that comes from an actual quote from the ruling. In offering BPJ a choice between not participating in sports and participating only on boys' teams is no real choice at all. The defendants cannot expect that BPJ will countermand her social transition, medical treatment, all the work she has done with her schools, teachers, and coaches for nearly half her life by introducing herself to teammates, coaches, and even opponents as a boy. The defendants do not dispute that doing so would directly contradict the treatment protocols for gender dysphoria. It would also expose BPJ to the same risk of unfair competition and, in some sports, physical danger from which the defendants claim to be shielding cisgender girls. With that in mind, and that came from the ruling, is it fair that a kid who has never gone through any stage of male puberty, that important thing that anti-trans actors say must happen, but then fight like hell to make the means to do so illegal? Is it fair that that kid is seen as a problem? Is it fair that 5 other cisgender kids are pawns in this game? Don't get me wrong. People can protest and have beliefs. That's the freedom of this country. But the same people that are trying to push this action as something noble are the same people who will immediately discount Becky Pepper Jackson's lived experience, will call her a cheat, call her a boy, call her a man, call her parents child abusers, and say that her parents are transing their child. I'm of the belief that adults, transphobic adults, engineered this. And those kids were denied a chance at the championship they were due because they were used for people to show their bigotry. And that angers me more than anything else. See, I have a soft spot for kids, and I hate seeing kids being mistreated. But that's what happened here, and it shows the basic disingenuity of the entire anti-trans position. They say it's to protect kids, but on one level, you made 5 cisgender kids instruments and weapons of your bigotry, and then you aimed and fired them squarely at someone else's child because she is trans. That's shameful. If that isn't child abuse, you tell me what is. That's Transposition Sports. I'm Carly Chardonnay Webb.